Hey everyone, it's Cece, and I wanted to thank you for being patient with me. And the shows didn't go on last month because it was a little crazy for me being sick. But I want to thank you guys for hanging in there with me because it was very, very, kind of trying. As much as I wanted to be with you, I just couldn't talk. So it's hard to do a talk show without a voice. So. But anyhow, those of you that don't know me, my name is Cece Schatz, and I am the doyenne of relationships, relationship building. And so what I do is I help take you through probably one of the darkest times in your life, a relationship loss, through to living your best life, through the transition of dating and all that. And so we do it right here on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are a live streaming radio station and a live streaming TV station. And we're just so thankful to have this wonderful outlet here that we can come on live on Facebook. So I am just so excited about that. But enough about me. First thing I want you to do is I want you to go into WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, like our page, please. And I'd like for you to send me an email on Going Solo Network at gmail.com, and let me know what you think of the show. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What you want to hear? Because we have all these wonderful shows on our network. We want to make sure that we are touching you and bringing to you the things that you want to hear. So we're going to move right on to our guest tonight. And I'm going to bring her into the studio here. We'll bring her right up. Hey, Bella Marie.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, it's nice to have you with us. And
Nice
I know it might have been a little crazy for you there for a few minutes, but I wanted to
Google was not letting me pull up the link. I was trying to I kept clicking. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
No, not at all. We got to do our little intro anyhow. So that's quite all right. But everyone, I want you guys to know about Bella Maria. She is very special individual indeed. She is a lifestyle love and romance coach. And she really, really helps. She's kind of like a light worker, aren't you? And what is a light worker?
Well, it's basically working towards the loving light.
Working for what?
Working towards the loving light.
Wow. Now that is really awesome. And you can't get anything better than that. But the exciting news is that Bella Maria is going to be coming on our station as a regular. And I'm excited about that because we all need a little love and a little romance in our lives. And I'm hoping that she's going to shake us up a little bit, and she's going to help us out with that. So you are a loveologist, a certified psychic, and you also you're an animal. Is it an animal whisperer or animal communicator?
Communicator, yeah.
Oh. That's pretty cool. That's very cool. So what we want to know is, how did you start doing all of this? What possessed you to get through? It seems like to me, Bella, you have like this particular gift. And so share with us when you realized that you had this gift and what kind of moved you towards doing what you're doing. Because I think we all have a mission in life. We all have a purpose. And I'm so thankful that you found yours and that you're going to come on and share it with us. So tell us, how did that start for you?
For me, it was kind of a process. And it started even when I was little. I would have a lot of dreams and a lot of different things that I would feel, and it was always the feeling. Either I would have a feeling or I would see it in a movie form or a vision or something of that sort. And then gradually I knew I wanted to be a counselor or a psychologist, but I didn't have the patience for going to school through all of that. I have ADHD, and so it's not a crutch, but it was just really hard for me to go through college and be able to get the grades that I wanted to get. I probably could have gone through the whole thing. I just had a rough patch. So I decided, I went through junior college in my life. And as I was going through junior college, my gift got stronger. And then I lost my cousin to cancer. And he was 36. And so he had passed on, and my gift kept getting stronger. from there on, it was just kind of this, I knew that I needed to follow something. I knew that there was something there. I didn't want to be a medium, but I didn't want to give away my gift. I didn't want to just like let it go and just kind of just say, okay, you know, I'm not going to accept this gift. And there was like no room for me to not accept it. So what happened was I sped through my 20s. I'm just going to go through it. So sped through my 20s. And then by the time I was 28, 29, my gift was just getting the empathic feelings, the anxiety, being able to feel what other people were feeling, got really, really strong. And then I knew that I was going to have a baby. And I wasn't sure what that was going to entail, but I knew, and I had this feeling, and I received messages that I was going to have a baby. Well, I was on birth control. So I had my children. I got pregnant on my 3rd month of having, after having my birth control, I was pregnant with Jolie. I immediately stopped. And then I then realized that, you know, life changes and everything was going on. And I was doing aromatherapy products at the time. And I was making my own aromatherapy products. I made them. I learned how to make them in Brazil. And then I brought everything back. And so I was always very in touch with just life in general and learning how to kind of slow down the process of life. And, but, you know, in a realistic view. And so at that point, I was in my 30s and I went in and I decided, okay, I had my next baby because, again, I was on birth control and I had my next baby. It was like one after another. So I have Irish twins. And that was really, really tough on all of us because just we weren't prepared for it yet. And then my gift got really, really strong. My crown chakra just started, it would just literally pulsate. It was the weirdest thing. And I had no idea what was going on. My ears were ringing all the time. I didn't know what was happening. Come to find out, my son was really sick when he was born. And I was just getting this information and I just couldn't figure it out. Luckily, I had people who were mentoring me and were able to kind of guide me. And that's how I became a light worker. And then people started getting word of who I was. And I went into the transition of being a psychic. From being a psychic, it was really tough. Energetically, people really just took a lot out of you, just like anybody in a relationship, you know, like maybe think of yourself as the sun. When you observe the sun and when you're taking in the sun, do you ever strip the sun of its energy? So that was kind of like somebody had brought that up to me. And I realized that when I was helping my clients, I was stripping myself of my energy because they just kept asking me questions. And some people would, you know, hang up and not pay me and just these horrible things. But I experienced it and I wanted to help people. I wanted to be there for people. And I took a little break and I started reflecting on my marriage. And I called Dr. Ava Cadell, had no idea who this woman was. And I just left a message and I was going to try to take a class on learning romance. And so I went forward and waited for her to call me, or an assistant. And she ended up calling me and it ended up opening up this whole door. And I had no idea what was going to present itself. Well, come to find out, I ended up doing a message kept coming through. When I first saw her website, I just kept, a message came through and I had no idea that it had anything to do with her. Well, come to find out that message was for her. I shared the message And in return, she had gifted me the love and romance coaching session. Like, so I had the certification. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this thing? I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. And I was like, I just don't know. I just wanted just to go ahead and study some romance so I could like figure it out with me and my husband.
Isn't that right? You go down a particular pattern, right? Oh, I'm wondering if we're getting an echo. Do you have me on another phone or anything like that?
No.
Seems to be better now. But sometimes we go down a path, we don't realize why we're going down it, right? And as we're going down it, we're going, what's up with this? What's up with this? But sometimes we're where we're supposed to be, you know, and we kind of take it all in. And what I find amazing in what you said is that, you know, I too am an empath and I can feel things. I mean, I can walk into a room and feel stuff. I think that's sometimes why even when I watch a television show, when there's emotions and stuff involved, it affects me. But like you, I struggled with trying to control, you know, my feelings because I would get washed into it. You know, I'd be like so overcome with the pain and sorrow they're going through. And so I, like you, I took a class with Janet Tatum, a prayer, hands-on prayer course, which changed my life. So now I don't feel that quite so much. I'm able to handle that. But there is and you've got stronger abilities than I do. I just feel people's pain, you know, they're hurt and that kind of thing. And I know when I'm in a room with somebody that they're troubled, they don't have to tell me. I know that. But the reality is they have to tell me on their time, you know, in their space, because that's when they want to deal with it. And so I've learned to understand that instead of probing, you know, trying to get them to tell me. So what I like so much about what you were saying is that you had this journey and you just didn't know where it was going to take you, but you knew that you were different. And the whole thing is when we know that we're a little bit different, we don't quite know always how to deal with that. But the beauty of what you're saying is that all along from a very young age, you knew that you were meant to help people. And I think that that's amazing. I really think that's amazing. And I think you have a gift and you're doing what you should be doing. And who knows where the future is going to lead for you. But right now you're trying to give and do things the best you can. And that's what's so important. Tell us just briefly, because we do have Vicki Chapman on with us tonight. And she's very interested in what you said about animals. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yeah, in the course of for about 6 years. So Patty Negri was the one who certified me. She's a famous Hollywood psychic. She's been on numerous reality TV shows, and she's a wonderful woman. And she certified me as an animal communicator. Mm-hmm. So what happens is I feel what the animal feels. My unique gift is that medically, I can see what's wrong with a human or with an animal. So for me, I work with, of course, I did the aromatherapy stuff. So then it kind of combined itself. When I wanted to work with oils, I work with oils with animals. And so that was kind of like how the whole thing set up. And the whole thing with Cesar Millan and what he was doing, I was already doing that before Cesar Millan was doing it. But it was kind of like this whole thing where I just kind of understood, and I get sometimes words. So I was working on a horse one time, and then there's another horse in another stable, and I looked and I'm like, he looks really sad. like there's something wrong. And he looked a little depressed. He felt depressed. And then I saw in words on the backside of on the hind legs, I saw calcium, the word calcium right above his hind legs. And come to find out, he was deficient in calcium. And so that's why he was getting depressed. And there was some issues in there. And then he was also depressed because of his owner kept leaving him at the stables, and he missed her. So that's where that was coming from. But, that's just one of the examples. Sometimes animals like that have passed on, sometimes they come through. So, you know, just kind of those kinds of things. I'm able to kind of just work with people. So that was one thing that I've done, and that's always been kind of in my toolbox. You know, it's just these little tools that I have, and sometimes it comes through, sometimes it doesn't. The one thing I just learned, and just like you said, is I don't force things. When people pay me, I have them understand that when they're working with me, that they're being coached. And the reason why I chose a life path coach, because of the fact that I felt like a psychic, you're missing the whole aspect of why that person came to you. And then that person only gets a tad, like just the information. And then they're like, what do I do with this? I don't know what to do with it. So in retrospect, I felt like life path coach was a good start to my beginning. And so that's how I started. And so as that whole thing happens, I always end up getting an animal, you know, either Pat coming through, or I have, it's okay.
So
you know, allergies are bad. Allergies are bad right now. I totally get it.
I'm still recovering from this, whatever it is that I got, but yeah, so I do apologize for that. But, you know, I like what you're saying with regards to a life path, because that's exactly what we all are on. We're on this journey of life. And so we have, you know, peaks and valleys, and sometimes, you know, things aren't exactly the way we want them to be. But then when we get around the corner, you know, and we kind of look back a little bit, we realize, I see why I've kind of went through that. It was a learning experience for me. Like, for instance, when you said that you had people that you talked to and they didn't even pay you. They hung up the phone and didn't even bother to pay you. You know, so those were some lessons that you had to learn, you know, that there are unsavory people in the world. But, you know, there again, it's a lesson we've learned. And so, you know, I just think that that's a kind of, sometimes it's a good thing for us to be able to. We don't always like it, but sometimes it's a good thing when we do that. So tell us a little bit about the romance. Now, I know that you're going to be helping us on our site, Date the Right One. We're going to put your information up there, but how are you going to help those that are struggling a little bit with, you know, dating out there, getting relationships? Can you share us a little bit about your teachings, what you've learned, and how you think that you can help others in that regard?
Well, for me, I feel like there is steps that you take to get to romance. And I feel that when you are trying to get yourself back out there, maybe trying to, you know, you're single again, or you are single and you're just finding yourself being put in these situations where you're almost having the same experience over and over and over again. And that's where the whole thing goes as a life path coach. So the whole point is that when you're doing this and you're working with me, you work on the whole well-being of you, and you figure out what you need to fine tune, and then get yourself into that romance section. Because if you're not happy, maybe because you don't look, you know, the certain way that you want to look, maybe it's just something just to fine tune. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep, or maybe you're not working out enough, or maybe you're not setting your goals and you're feeling like you're all over the place, and then you don't have time to be romantic. So for me, it's kind of doing wellness and goal coaching within this life path coaching that I do. It's just another part to get you to where you need to be in romance. Because if you're not happy, then you're not going to be romantic, and you're not going to have that life that you want.
Right. So do you think that romance is dead? Do you think it's gone? I mean, I know that I'm in the dating world, and I say to the guys sometimes, well, you have to woo me, you know, and they're like, what? You know, went on a couple dates, no more wooing, no more, you know, romance thing. It's like, no, because that's the kind of person I am. It's not that I want them to go out and, buy me a lot of stuff or this and that. That it's not really about that. It's about the way they treat you. And and I know this for myself, I know I want a relationship that's special. I want to feel special, as I want to be able to make my partner feel special. And when I find that relationships sometimes they mimic like the person, it's like a mirror. And, if you're not getting any, romance back, or if you're not giving, you're not going to receive. So it has to be kind of both ways. And I've heard guys talk about this too, about women. It's like, women always want, but women have to give too. So yes. I just was curious, do you think romance is dead in today's world?
No, I think it's different. I don't think it's the same as what it used to be. It probably should, but it's not.
You mean the guy isn't going to throw himself over the mud puddle and let me walk on his back so I don't get my feet wet?
I think there's a lot of gentlemen out there, but I think that you have to, I feel, once you feel confident and beautiful and good about yourself, you'll be able to treat that person with respect. So I think if the gentleman, who that's what it should be a gentleman, if he wants someone, first of all, you don't just give it up, then, in 3 nights, three days.
There's no number on this, okay?
I don't think there is a number, but I feel like if you hold back just a little bit and let him respect you and honor the person that you are and understand who you are, he'll be able to respect you. And that's where I think the romance comes. I don't think that, and I think a lot of men don't respect women who sleep with them so quickly. I think it's just kind of, that's just, human nature. It's just, that's just the way. It's like, okay, well, I don't know. Can we cuss on this? Sorry.
I try not to, but I have had a slip every now and then. It depends on where our affiliates, and some of our affiliates. We have to
I was like, I don't want to cuss if I can't. But I feel like, if you have, if you just given that piece of, then you don't have, there's nothing else to look forward to because you're already just giving yourself. And
the thing is, if you're doing that, there's really it's not a romantic thing, is it? What happens is it becomes just a physical thing. And so you want to lead up to that because you want to create that special environment. And if you haven't created that, then, you are a little bit in trouble down the road, I think, is really what happens. It's not necessarily respect, but men are physical. And so that men are going for that. That's something they are going. Yeah.
They're all visual and that's what they want to see. But so you can make yourself look good. You can tease them. You can make them feel like they're special by you even just, touching them on the shoulder or on the leg or something. That's a way to kind of get them to kind of get more excited, and I just feel like, no, romance is definitely not a lost cause. I think it's just how, like you said, how you treat the man and how the man treats the woman is how, you just have to have that common respect. Because if you don't have that respect or there's just so many things involved. There really is. Yeah. You can just pinpoint it. It's, there's you have dignity, you have respect, you have image, you have to play all these little parts, and it's very hard to be single, even to be married and to keep it going.
Yeah.
You're always wondering, is that going to happen? Is he's going to go, wandering off? Is she going to go wandering off? But my tip is, if you take care of yourself and you help that person take care of themselves and you help them achieve their goals and he helps you achieve your goals, then everything's just going to fall into place. And you'll find ways of being romantic. Maybe his way of being romantic is taking to a car club, you know, and going and watching cars and like holding hands. You know,
well, I mean, and I've been told this, and I do agree with that. I think the woman has to set the pace. So you have to kind of set it. And so if you're going to go, let's say you're going to have a romantic evening and he takes you to a car show, you're going to have to say, well, listen, if this is your idea of romance, I'll go with you. But then we have to do what I think is romantic on the next date, you know, that kind of thing. And so then you get a little bit of a balance into it, you know.
Well, I feel like you don't even have to, you shouldn't have to even say that. You shouldn't even have to be like, I'll go on this if you do that. I think if you're already connected and you kind of like understand, you just kind of just get it. And I don't know if maybe because I'm a psychic or because I'm empathic, it's a little bit easier for me to understand. But I've always found that.
So if they say they want to go to a car show, then just do we say, okay, we're going to wear our fishnet hose and thigh leather boots, and will that do it for you? I mean, that's
what they want.
That certainly made the car show very romantic.
I think you know, it's showing something. If the man is interested in cars, and you're looking hot in your outfit, however it might be, in some cute little jeans and a nice tee with a V-neck or whatever it could be, but you're making yourself look good, and he knows he has a sexy girl by his side, and he's looking at sexy cars. What else is there?
Yeah.
It's the point. Yeah, it might be a football game or it might be a baseball game, but you're standing next to him. He wants you side. You know, like what other way of showing, you know, connection than showing and sharing something that they like? And yes,
you know, you're right. You're very right with that. It's the thing is, it's about, if you're building a relationship together, it's not really what you do. It's the point that you're doing it together that makes a big difference.
Exactly.
And I know that I've been in relationships where I found myself alone all the time. And I often thought, what is going on here? Because, you know, I would prefer him to actually be with me versus, you know, home watching TV or whatever. Even if he didn't like it, it would have made me really happy to have him by my side. And the same thing goes. So I think we need to cherish each other and figure out that, you know, that is true, that, you know, when we really care about someone, it doesn't matter where we're at, what we're doing. It's the point that we're with them that makes the difference.
And it's compromise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I know there's times where I'm like, oh, I really don't want to go because I don't feel like going. But he gets so excited about it. So I'm like, I'll go. And then I end up having a really great time. And then everything is good. And I've had good times. And I was able to hug him and be around him and spend time with him. And it's really important. I think that's the most important part. And that is one thing that I do is like kind of like a spiritual romance reading type thing where, you know, we pull out romance cards and we just look at some different things, and it kind of gives you tips on how to, you know, what is the next step. But, you know, in all reality, if you are not confident in yourself and you don't feel good about yourself and you're not taking care of yourself, there's no way in heck you're going to be getting anything in the bedroom because you're going to be tired.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it's just all the whole well-being of you is how you can make your life romantic and how you can make your life very special. So it's self-respect and respecting your body as the person it is and as what, you know, God gave us, and then bringing it back into, you know, sharing it with the other person, you know, because whatever that energy is, you're going to have that energy exchange, and it better be a very healthy energy exchange, because otherwise it can make you sick.
Right. Yeah. You know, I really agree with that, because it's, you know, I often say, because I want to help singles raise their vibration so they can attract the partner that they that they really truly want in their life. And the thing is if we're not feeling good about ourselves, our vibration is lower, and then what we're attracting into our lives is really not what we want. And then we wonder why it isn't working out in those relationships. And so we have to, you're right, we do have to work on ourselves. I think that's a very good tip that we're learning tonight, is that maybe in order to find love and romance, we have to kind of love and be more romantic to ourselves, to embrace our lives, embrace us, who we are, and discover who we're going to become, So yeah, very cool.
When I was studying with Loveology University, I came up with this thing called natural passion, and it's naturally bringing passion into your life, however it could be, by natural foods, by herbs, by vitamins, by whatever it could be, and you're bringing passion back into your life, and that's called natural passion. So that is something that I've been developing and working on, and I've been seeing such a big difference in people that have actually really tried to bring wellness into their life, and then being able to bring more romance into their life. Mm-hmm. So it's just such a great feeling to see that. And I was going to say something else and I completely forgot.
I wanted to ask you, I hope you'll bring some of those into your new show. I hope you'll bring some of those into your new show to
I will. I'll have tips, and I'll definitely talk.
We're kind of losing you. We love the internet. It freezes up. If you froze up there.
I know you did too. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it must be the internet. So
Mercury is in retrograde right now. It's actually stopping, I think, by tomorrow. So I don't know if you know Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
So right now we've been going through that for the past 3 weeks. So
that explains it.
It is.
My radio station has been off on the live streaming, and I get it back up again, and then it goes back off again. I'm getting it back up. And Chuck Bryant is just the most biggest, sweethearted, wonderful man I think I ever had in my life. But he is so patient with me, and I say, Chuck, it's not up again. I have no idea what the problem is. So he'll try to figure it out.
Retrograde. If something goes wrong, go check to see your calendar. You go on Farmer's Almanac, and it tells you exactly what's happening. But it happens 3 times out of the year. So.
Oh yeah, well, it's definitely happening to us, and so bless his heart. He worked very hard to keep going solo, on the air and keep us alive. And stuff. Great. I'm very fortunate to have really good people. I have really good friends that are very helpful to me, and I just feel very blessed with that. Well, I'm excited about your show. I know I am going to listen, and I'm going to be taking some really good notes and trying to bump up my romance and my love life a little bit, because I am single and I would like to get back in there and start dating again. So, but yeah. So what's your vibes for me? Do you think I'm going to have a love come into my life?
Well,
getting vibes? I
see 8. I don't know if it's 8 weeks or 8 months, or the 8th month. So let's see. And that would be 5 months. So I'm thinking it's the number 8 is a really big number for you right now. So I would try to right now at this point concentrate on fine-tuning what I call it is cycle life lessons. Like if you're like on Candyland and you land on green and you end up staying on green, even though you went to pink, you're still doing the same thing that you did on green. Try to focus on removing some of the cycles that you keep finding yourself getting into and looking at it in another perspective and trying to kind of say, okay, take one little goal and just work on that for right now to make you feel better. Not anyone else, but for you. Mm-hmm. I know that you're a dancer and you like to dance.
I do. I love it. Mm-hmm.
So, maybe just, while you're dancing, use that as a form of meditation
Mm-hmm.
and try to think about all the things that you've done and what you feel like you need to fine tune. And I guarantee you, probably on the 5th month, which is, I think it's 8 months, it's like the 8th. So it'd be the 8th month, which would be in 5 months. That's what I feel. So, I think that will probably be, so in August of this time. Let's see what happens. I could be totally wrong.
Let's see.
Don't hold me to it.
What's funny too is that 8's supposed to be my number.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. 8 is supposed to be my number. I guess that, that Chinese number or whatever that is. Yeah. 8 is supposed to be my number. So I use that number for everything now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So 8 is my number.
The 8th month, so when I see it, I don't see it in months. I think it's the 8th month, but it could be 8 weeks, in 8 days. I feel like it will be like in August.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like that will be kind of like your transition and your like aha moment where you're going to start feeling really good about yourself and you're going to be fine tuning. Because I feel like you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you keep finding yourself in the same situation. And you've even stated it, but I feel like they are telling me, universe is telling me that you keep doing the same thing over and over again. And it's not because you're trying to put yourself in a bad situation. It's just that's all you know, and that's what you're comfortable with. So I really want to suggest to you is try to do something for yourself instead of trying to take care of everyone else, because I feel like you're almost taking attention off of you so that you can make everyone else feel better. It's like you don't want to worry about yourself right now. You want to take care of everyone because you want to make them feel good, So
yeah, you are right. I know that you are right because I do. I take care of my father and I take care of there's everybody else. Yeah, that's totally right. But
fine tune that. Figure out that cycle. It's kind of like that game board. If you're still stuck on green, then you need to be on blue or going down up the ladder or something, because like Candyland. But it's just you need to help moving up that ladder for your own self-awareness and to make you feel better about yourself, So that's why I always say wellness is such a big part of it, because then you start really paying attention to what your body is doing and what your body is asking you for, it could be in sleep, it could be food, it could be anything. But
well, there you go, guys. When her show comes out, you guys can come on. You can actually, you guys can come right up into our lobby and talk with her in person. And you can, send messages, and I'm sure she'd be more than happy. Bella would be more than happy to answer them. And of course, if you want to email, you can just email me if you want at wgsn-dbgoingsolonetwork@gmail.com. But let's also share with the audience your information, Bella, so that you can, maybe they can email you if they have any questions or anything like that.
Yeah. So you guys can go to my website, Passion with Bella. Sorry, there was a feedback. PassionWithBella.com. And also you can have 2 emails, but passionwithbella@gmail.com is probably the best one to find me or to reach out to me. Or you can also get me on seekingloveandlife@gmail.com.
That's great. Well, I tell you what, we had a great show tonight. Is there anything you want to share with the listeners before we say goodbye? Because it went by very fast.
It did. I think that the one thing I want, and I always tell people, even if I'm on Facebook, do one thing to make you feel good. Do one thing that will make someone else feel better. So if you're making yourself feel good, then you can actually do something to make someone else feel better. And I feel that once you figure that interaction and learning how to just be a human instead of worrying about all these other crazy things that are going on in this world. because everybody just seems so angry. And I just feel like if we could just find something good in ourselves and then give someone a compliment or just smile at someone and just say, you know, you look really pretty in that color, I'm sure you're going to make that person feel good. And who knows, if a guy does that to a girl, either they're going to get slapped or they're going to have another date. So, you know, whatever works. But I feel like if you do take care of yourself and you do one special thing for yourself, you'll start seeing better positive movements in your life.
Well, that is great advice. It truly is a good advice. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that for myself. There's a couple things that I've been wanting to do, and which would be better for my health. And so, you know, yeah, I'm going to kick it up.
We'll follow up on that. We'll see how you.
Yeah, I have been wanting to do yoga, and because I thought that would be really good for stretching, and you know, getting older. I hate to admit it, but I am, and so I thought that would be really good for me, and I like doing the dancing. So yeah.
I like Pilates. I like Pilates, but there's also this one thing that I love is like it's Pi-Yo. It's in between Pilates and yoga. So it has a little bit of a faster movement, so you're not like trying to teeter-totter on.
Yeah, I have no balance anymore, it seems like, yeah. So
you'll be good.
I'm used to being spun around, so it's hard for me to just stand still.
That's why I said your dancing is your meditation. Mm-hmm. So maybe try to find something that you can do like Tai Chi, because you're dancing still, but you're doing your stretches and it relaxes your body, you know, and that gives you a form of meditation to be able to figure out what you need to do for your next steps in life, you know, and what you
for all of the personal advice. I love that. And I know that probably those listening out there, you know, I know a lot of you go through exactly what I've been going through. And so I hope that you guys will take this and listen to it and, you know, maybe use some of it towards, you know, bringing you forward. But I love it. I cannot wait for your show. I think it's going to be wonderful. We've got some great affiliates. They're excited about bringing your show forward. A podcast 97.9 is one of them. WTEK is going to be playing your show. So I'm excited. I'm excited about where our station is going, excited about the hosts that are with us and that are going to be bringing us some new shows. Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff going on here.
I'm really excited too. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's great. So the next time we're going to see you, you're going to be doing your own show. Now, have we decided what day and what time? We're going to be doing it on Tuesdays, right? Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah. So let me write that down. Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, right?
1 p.m. No. Oh, is that 1 p.m. your time?
Yeah. Eastern time? Is it Eastern time? Or is it your Pacific time? Is it 1 p.m. Pacific time? So what would it be for me for Eastern time?
That would be 4. I think we said, I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern. And then I was going to go ahead and come in at, what is that? 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. my time? Because we're 3 hours different.
Yeah. So we're going to do 1 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be right after. That's right. It's going to be right after the business lunch hour we have going on, which is very.
And we discussed that we were going to do it at 10:30. So it's going to be 10:30, 1:30. Remember, we were going to get.
Yeah, that's right. See what happens when you get girls together talking? I forget. If I don't write it down, I forget it. But it's great. I'm excited. We got so many wonderful things happening, and you're going to come on, and I just feel really good about, where you're going and what you're doing and how you're helping people. And I think we need this in our lives. We need some love and romance and, positive, higher vibration. We need all that. So it's a good thing. Thank you so much for coming on board with us and sharing with us tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay?
I'm looking forward to being with everybody and talking to everyone. I really appreciate it.
All right. But now you guys can connect with her on Facebook too. She's Bella Maria, and she's right on Facebook there. And her show is going to be Passions with Bella. So just like your website. So that'll be great. Yeah. So I go to her website. Her website's really nice. It's passionswithbella.com, and check it out. Okay. Wonderful. Well, listen, we're going to close out the show tonight, and I do appreciate it. This is Cece with Going Solo, and you're never really alone. So we make sure that singles have a place to go to. They have positive things to listen to. We want to uplift you. We want you to move forward into the life that you want to live, and that's what it's all about. You are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.